All right, Knights fans. So we're going to go over the formations today. In these videos, we're going to break down every formation, walk through it together, so you can watch this whenever you have a question. If it doesn't get answered at practice or at weightlifting, you can go back and watch this video online, and hopefully we do the videos well enough to where your questions get answered. So let's start with our flex formation. Flex. The reason we call it flex is because typically the X is a tight end. But in this formation, he's still on the line of scrimmage, but he's flexed out. So let's go back a little bit. Like any offensive play, you need 5 interior linemen. So we have center, 2 guards, 1 right guard, left guard, and 2 tackles. Now, like any offensive play, we need 7 men on the line of scrimmage. That means even with the 5 interior linemen. So on this formation, flex, X is even with them, so he's on the line of scrimmage, and Z is even with them, so he's on the line of scrimmage. Y and F are the receivers off the line of scrimmage. So how do we know who's the flex guy and who's the F back? Well, here's how we're going to do it. When we're teaching the formation, if we're going over a play in practice, if I were to say, Herman, you're F, or Carter Brown, you're X, your all-time X. So here's how you'll know where to go. If I call flex right, the called side always speaks to the F and the X. So in flex right, the called side is right. So F and X know that we are F and we are X on the right side. Y and Z are always opposite the call in flex. So flex right, Y and Z are slot and wide receiver left. Flex left, Y and Z are always slot and wide receiver right. Tailbacks, it could be a number of people. How do you know what side you're on? Well, you are always on the right no matter what, unless you hear the word flip. F-L-I-P. Flex right, 26 Bronco, you're on the right. Flex left, 26 Bronco, you're on the right. Flex right, flip, 26 Bronco. The tailback flips sides, and he's now on the left. The tailback lines up directly behind the guard on the side that he is on. The X wide receiver lines up 2 yards outside of the tackle in flex. The tackle is the farthest lineman. So X is 2 yards outside the tackle, and the F is 1 yard deeper than X and 1 yard inside X. So he's 1 yard outside the tackle and 1 yard back. In this formation, Y and Z, their alignment is this. Y is on the outside of the hash. The hash marks are the little lines that go up the field. And Z stands on the bottom of the numbers. If I were to say top of the numbers, I mean the part of the numbers that's closer to the sideline. Bottom of the numbers is the side closest to the middle of the field. It is not the side. I am not speaking in the directions that point towards the end zones, but the directions that point towards the sideline and the center of the field. So this is flex. We can call it either way. If I call flex left, if Carter Sampson is my X, then he is 2 yards outside the left tackle. He flips sides. The F flips sides and goes 1 by 1, and the Y and Z align in the same position on the other side, outside the hash and on the bottom of the numbers. And that is our flex formation. Okay, so after flex, now we're going to talk about spread. Spread is a 2 by 2 concept. What I mean by that is 2 wide receivers on the right and 2 wide receivers on the left. How do I know where F and X are or where Y and Z are? Well, the same principle applies. The called side speaks to the F and the X. If I call spread right, F and X are the 2 wide receivers on the right side. If I call spread left, F and X are the 2 wide receivers on the left side. And of course, Y and Z are opposite the call. Now in spread, the alignment is the same as Y and Z were in flex. That might have sounded confusing, but what I mean by that is In spread, F and Y, the two slots, are just outside the hash on their respective sides, and X and Z are on the line of scrimmage at the bottom of the numbers on their respective sides. Same rule applies for the T, for the tailback. He is on the right, no matter what, unless he hears flip. Spread right, switch, on the right. Spread left, switch, on the right. Spread right, flip, he flips to the left. And that is our spread formation. Okay, trips. This is trips left. Like all of our formations, the called side speaks to the F and the X. So trips left. F and X are on the left. F and X are on the left. But that's only two. We need a third guy. So whatever the trip side is, the opposite slot comes over and becomes the third guy. This is not a motion. From the huddle, he goes straight to the trip side. Now, the alignment of the trip side is a little different than it was in spread and flex. The reason for that is we have three receivers now occupying the same amount of space. So we want to spread them out more. So X now is at the top of the numbers. Y is on the hash, and F is splitting the distance. Now this is tentative because we may find that with certain guys at certain spots, it's better to have them closer to one guy or farther from another. But for all intents and purposes, for now, X is on top of the numbers, Y is on the hash, and F is splitting the distance. Now, let's say the ball was not in the middle of the field. Let's say it was on the left hash. So where the center is now on the left hash. Then we have to change some things. We would probably call trips to the wide side of the field. But let's not worry about that right now. If the ball is in the center of the field, Y is on the hash, X is top of the numbers, F is splitting the distance. Z is opposite trips because he's opposite the called side, and he was not required to come across like Y was. Since he's by himself, we want him to maintain his typical principle of being at the bottom of the numbers. T, same rules apply. Behind the guard on your side, if you do not hear flip, you are automatically on the right. If you hear flip in the play call, you are on the left. X and Z are on the line of scrimmage, always. F and Y are not, always. The only difference here is that Y's starting position is now on the left with F and X instead of on the right with Z. And that is trips left. So the last formation we're going to go over today is ghost. Ghost. The reason we call it ghost is because there's no one in the backfield with the quarterback. He's all by himself. So, same rule. Called side speaks to F and X. Ghost right. F and X are on the right side. And the right call also speaks to the tailback. It tells him that he's the third guy on the right. So the rules for the backside, the non-called side, remain the same. Y is at the top of the hash, outside the hash, and Z is at the bottom of the numbers. Now, because in Ghost, if you were to just look at the right side of the field, it looks like trips. The trips rules apply for alignment. T is on the hash. X is at the top of the numbers, and F splits the distance.